live show. Of course, we're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And our best bets always over at the premium area. We've done our premium show. I'm going to post it in just a few seconds. Actually, I almost posted it twice. How about that for efficiency? Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Ready to sort of get back into it. Had a winning day yesterday and great hockey yesterday too as well. Distinct kicking motion, 3 words I think are going to haunt the Calgary Flames over the course of the offseason.
Is what? I missed. I didn't know. See the game.
Distinct kicking motion. It was 4-4. Or it was 4-4. Calgary thought they had the lead with about 6 minutes to go. There was a guy skating to the net. It went in off his skate, and the ref deemed it a distinct kicking motion. Goal was waved off. Game went to overtime, and Edmonton stole it and closed out the series.
So, I mean, obviously they didn't steal it. They won. If you win the game, you win the game. But what? So, I mean, you've been watching hockey for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Was it a distinct kicking motion? What's the general consensus? I have not heard one thing about this.
Okay, so because I had the Oilers last night, I'm absolutely going to say, yeah, of course I thought it was a kicking motion. But the reality is he was skating towards the net, and momentum carried him towards the puck. So I wouldn't say it was the most distinct kicking motion. But at a certain point, I think intent has to be considered as well. He knew where he was going and directing the puck. He knew he was going to be directing it into the net. He knew where his skate was pointing towards the net. So, I think they did factor some intent into that, and that's kind of why they waved it off.
So because it wasn't a fortunate bounce off of his skate. It was a directed motion of the puck off of the skate.
It was an angled motion of his skate to where the puck would have went into the net. He didn't actually kick it like a soccer kick, but he directed the puck with his skate, and I think that's what they deemed it.
Which is not part of the game. Which is not part of the game. I get it. How about you, Brian? How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. I got to admit, with Chris, I had a lot of same feelings on that game. When I woke up, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the Oilers had won. Not that I'm an Oilers fan. I like the Flames, but I just, I had a small bet on the Oilers last night, and it came through. So it's always nice to wake up to a winner. So
I had seen the score last night, but I didn't. Of course, I don't follow hockey, so I didn't. I don't know much about it.
And the Hurricanes got it done at home yesterday.
About what happened. So, but anyways, got hockey tonight. We got the St. Louis Blues taking on the Avalanche. Chris, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the over for the total, but I do like the St. Louis Blues on the money line again. We're still getting plus 150 with them at home. I know the Avs have won 2 games in this series in St. Louis, and they could potentially do it again. They're more than talented enough to do it. But I think there's going to be a hangover here. Even in Game 6 of a playoff series, Nathan MacKinnon, after that 5-4 loss in overtime to the Blues, said that the Avs really wanted that game. Colorado thought they had that when MacKinnon went coast to coast with arguably one of the goals of the season. But it was all for naught as St. Louis found a way to tie that game and eventually take it in overtime. I think the Blues picked up some momentum. They figured out the blueprint of what they have to do. And if you can win in Colorado, if you can win twice in Colorado, I think that you could try to at least win one at home and maybe force a Game 7. I think all the momentum's on St. Louis's side. I think the Blues take it at plus 150.
So has there ever been a game where someone didn't really want it in the playoffs? I mean, that's because you're saying that he said we really wanted this one. It's like, has there ever been a playoff game where a team didn't really want it?
No, I don't think so at all. I think, of course, every team wants to go out and get the win. I think his thought process was that this young Avs team hasn't had this kind of success. They haven't gone this deep into the playoffs, and they felt they had the Blues on the ropes when he scored that goal to make it 4-3. And I think the vibe on the bench was that they had it. But like I said, then the Blues they wouldn't die, and they tied the game. And like I said, they won it in overtime. So.
Brian, any thoughts on this one?
Well, what you were just talking about earlier, of course, both teams want the win, but sometimes in elimination games, the player or players give that extra little bit of effort, that I just think that the Blues willed themselves to that win in Game 5, and I think it carries over here in Game 6. I think we're going 7. I don't think the Blues are better than the Avs, but you're getting a nice payday at home with St. Louis, and I think they have a puncher's chance here to get the W. So I'm going to take St. Louis. Nothing big, just a strong lead.
All right. Well, Brian, what are you selling today?
I got my Get Back 3-pack. I'm going to go with my 2 best bets in Major League Baseball. Best NBA bet for $40 at pickdogs.com premium picks. Yesterday, a 1 and 2 day, but 3 of the last 4 have been winning days and just barely missed yesterday. So I'm going to try to get it on today with a winner.
Yeah, and for me, I got my MLB triple play. It's 3 plays that I love, but I really love my MLB pick-off play for today. Again, $15 play hit again yesterday. It's I think 6-1 so far with those plays. Look at them to keep the momentum going, make it another winning day. Got both those over at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right. So far, I just have entered my big play, but I will. I'll be entering more picks in as well. I have plenty of picks on my card. I just have about 80 different things that I have to do before the show these days. Not that anybody cares. We will get your picks. I will have the picks in, though. It's only 9:30 Eastern time, so plenty of time. Not even 9:30 Eastern time. Anyways, let's head into. I have my big play though. It's $15, so grab it. Anyways, we go to today's Major League Baseball card, and it is a decent one for sure. You know, the last 2 nights I thought that these cards were really tough. But I think today maybe a little bit of light through the clouds. We got the Reds taking on the Giants. We've got the Nationals taking on the Rockies and the Red Sox-Orioles. Chris, any thoughts on these 3?
Yeah, for these ones, I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants on the run line. I know the Cincinnati Reds just cranked out 20 runs against the Cubs yesterday, but now they have to go against the San Francisco Giants team that started to get back on track after closing out that series against the Mets strong, and I think they come out with a win here. The Reds, if you lose that streaks tool to Sports Chaplain, you'll see the Reds have lost 15 straight on the run line against teams from the NL West. So got to go with the San Francisco Giants as the better team with Carlos Rodon there. I really like what Rodon's been doing. And I'm going to take the Boston Red Sox on the run line. It's a lean, but it's the only way to get value out of this line. Garrett Whitlock going, I think he's just the better pitcher with the hotter lineup behind him. I just don't expect very much from this Baltimore offense. So I think Boston can get a win by at least a couple of runs there. So I'll take Boston on the run line in that one.
How often do you look at the betting tools?
I use them fairly frequently. I like to check out, see if there's any streaks that are kind of standing out, like that Cincinnati Reds one was jumping off the page. It just helped strengthen my Giants pick even more. I love the Giants going into that game, but when you see a number like that, absolutely. It's great too, because like you always say, they're free. They're some of the best ones out there, I think.
All right. Well, Brian, what do you think of these 3 games?
Is it the Reds still going with TBD to start against Rodon? I believe so. Well, whichever way it ends up, I like the San Francisco Giants here. They were off yesterday. Reds, I think they put up 20 runs, but I like Carlos Rodon. He bounced back off that 8-run performance that he gave up and had a strong one the last time out. I like the Giants. And then in the other game, Washington Nationals, they won a few in a row here. Gomper, not the same pitcher on the road than that in Colorado. Sanchez is terrible, but I think the Nationals outscore the Rockies today in the slugfest.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I like I think that the Nationals-Rockies is an over all the way. I don't know. That Red Sox game looks a little bit too easy, and I don't know. I like the Giants in that one as well. So I'm with you guys on those. Anyways, let's see what we got.
Perhaps a Yurfie in the Rockies and
Nationals. Yeah, back on the Yurfie after Ruffalo's aggressive Yurfie yesterday. We were all loved overs and Yurfies in that one, and it certainly delivered. But I think that this one in Detroit, looking at this, we've got the Tigers and the Guardians, the Mets and the Phillies, and the Rays and the Yankees. I think this one in Detroit could be a nerfie. Chris?
I could see it. Alex Fado pitching really well, and Shane Bieber. We all know what he's capable of, and he's held down this Detroit lineup before. So yeah, maybe a nerfy, but I like the under there, and I like the New York Mets. I hate to say it, but Bailey Falter. He hasn't pitched too much. We don't really have much of a sample size on him, but Carlos Carrasco pitching really well at Citi Field this season, a 2.16 ERA. And I think he helps the Mets get the job done in that one. And for that Rays-Yankees game, I'm gonna stick with the under in that one. I think Jameson Taillon and Jeffrey Springs both pitching fairly well this season, and I think we have a bit of a pitcher's duel there, maybe a 3-2 kind of game. I think the only reason the total went over last night was because of some late inning shenanigans. So give me the under in that one.
How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I think Falter and Carrasco is pretty much a wash as starting pitcher. Falter's only going to give you 4 runs, and then you get the Phillies bullpen. But I think this is a 1-run game. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Phillies plus the 1.5. I think they lose to the Mets by a run. And Tigers Guardians, I backed Fado last time against Bieber. I think the Tigers won that game outright. Bieber still pitched well in that one. I think the Tigers at home here plus the 1.5. So I'm going to do 2 run lines here: Detroit and Philadelphia on the run line.
I think this Yankees line, whenever you see the Yankees getting plus odds like that, you got to jump on the other team as soon as possible. I like the Tigers here. I think ton of value here against Bieber, and not loving the Guardians this year in general. I think Fado can take them into those late innings, tangle it with them, and I like the Mutts as well. I'm with Ruffalo. I think Carrasco at home against one of the 3 worst teams in baseball. Mild odds on this one. Why not?
Got to win yesterday.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Anyways, we got the Braves and the Marlins. We've got the Twins and the Royals and the Cardinals and the Brewers. Brian, what do you think of these?
It's a tough slot, but I like tough situations here. I'm going to take the Miami Marlins with Trevor Rogers. Ever since I pulled the Trev Rogers card, he's just been crap this year. He doesn't look the same, but I think you're getting value here with the Marlins lineup against Ian Anderson, who's a mediocre pitcher at best. I think you go with the Miami Marlins, and then I'm going to take the Brewers here with Woodruff on the mound. He's been starting to get back into form, and I don't think Hudson's as good as his 3.2, 3.60 ERA. Not that that's great, but I think Hudson's more of a 4.5 ERA guy. So I'll take the Brewers, lay the juice, and the Marlins money line plus money.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the under 8 in that Royals-Twins matchup. Bailey Ober, I think, is one of the pitchers I like in that Twins rotation. I think he can hold down the Royals, but we've talked about Brad Keller before. He's got decent stuff. It's just a matter of if the Royals are able to back him up. And I think this one could be another pitcher's duel here. I could see 4-3 in this game. So give me the under 8 in that one. And I'm going to take the over 7.5 in that Brewers and Cardinals matchup. Said it before, Brandon Woodruff is trustworthy as a fart after Taco Bell, and I really want no part of him because he's capable of getting blown up at any time. On the flip side, though, Brian's made a good point about Dakota Hudson. Maybe I think there's some regression in store for a pitcher that is not as good, I think, as his numbers would indicate, despite being one of the higher touted arms in that rotation. So I think we get to at least 5-4 in that game. So give me the over 7.5 there.
I kind of like the Twins here. I think Keller, is super value here against Ober, but I just think that just tough to take the Royals against the Twins. I think that's especially to beat them 2 nights in a row. Ian Anderson, I mean, this guy, I have to say, there's a bunch of pitchers that have been drafted in the top 5 overall in the draft that I think just, while they're not horrible pitchers that will never have major league careers, they're just guys that will never be a number 1 top starter. And I think Ian Anderson is on that list for me. Like, I think Casey Mize, a number 1 overall pick, will be that guy, for the Tigers. I don't think Ian Anderson, a number 3 overall, or Hunter Green, a 2 overall, will ever be that guy, and Jameson Taillon, a number 2 overall. I don't ever see him being that guy. I think Trevor Rogers, we just haven't seen the best of him yet, and I think we're just going to get a lot of value on him here. No reason not to take a shot against Anderson. I think the Cardinals bounce back. I don't see this being as a one-sided series with the Cardinals and the Brewers. I think this one is one of these tough ones. And I'm going to take the Cardinals in that one. We go to our next time slot, and we look at the Angels. Chase Silseth by the seashore up against Alek Manoah. We got the A's against the Rangers. And the D-backs, Madison Bumgarner on the hill here against Gonzalez, who's listed. Brian?
Boy, yeah, I got burnt with the Diamondbacks yesterday. They got their butts kicked. But, I like Madison Bumgarner, good veteran pitchers, used to pitching against the LA Dodgers here. I think, for me, I'm going to back the Arizona Diamondbacks, take another shot on the money line. The Dodgers long-term on the road. I wonder what their record is in the Arizona over the last half dozen. I should have looked that up. But the Oakland A's also, I like them at home on the money line. Cole Irvin on the mound. I think John Gray is going to have a decent pitching performance for Texas, but I think Oakland gets a 3-2 type victory here at home. Cole Irvin on the mound should be good for 6 or 7 innings.
Chris? Cannot hear him.
Sorry about that. I like the. Call me Homer, but I like the Blue Jays with Alek Manoah on the mound here. I just think Manoah, pitching very, very well, a 1.62 ERA on the season, and I think Chase Silseth going to be a nice part of the Angels rotation, and I could understand the temptation with the Angels at plus money given the bats in this lineup, but Toronto woke up offensively against a far better pitcher on Thursday night in Shohei Ohtani. I think Alek Manoah could keep the Angels bats in check here. So I like Toronto there. And I'm leaning towards the Dodgers. I don't love this price. I don't love, it on the road. But Gonsolin, for me, has been the better starter. He's a pitcher I've kind of overlooked, and I'll admit that. I just haven't seen what the hype was about, but he's pitching fairly well this year. I think he's 4-0 with an ERA around, I think, between 1 and 2.
They got another pitcher listed here instead of Gonsolin. It's Peepote or something like that.
It's not Gonzalez. I saw Gonzalez listed, but I believe he went. I believe he's shown for tomorrow's games. Oh,
if that's the case, then yeah, I would shift towards the Diamondbacks. I thought it was. Oh yeah, I'm seeing Ryan Pepio as well now. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'll shift towards. Yeah, I'm shifting towards the Diamondbacks then. Scratch what I said. I liked Gonsolin in that spot, but I think if it's Pepio against Bumgarner, I think Bumgarner could help the D-backs get a win there.
Yeah, I like the Blue Jays here. I think when you get these young pitchers, like Silseth, their first outing, and they show that, oh man, this guy's really good coming on the scene, and then what happens is, you get 30 major league scouts pick this guy apart on film, and then you see their next outing, they kind of get hit, and you're kind of like, uh-oh. Right, this is a really bad sign because now you're up against George Springer and company, and they know what's coming, and because you don't have the major league experience to get through that sort of thing. Definitely like the Yerfie in that one, for sure. And once the film is out, normally they rip the cover off, as they say. Right, taking the top off is the technical term they use in that one. I think they take the top off the stadium tonight in Oakland too. I think we're going to see a lot of runs with John Gray and Cole Irvin out there. I do like the A's though. It's a little bit of a lean.
John Gray's been pitching a little bit better, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't. No.
I thought his last start he went 6. Anyway,
no,
he's not a superstar, but
no bueno.
I think he did have 1 earned run at over 6 innings, but like Mitch said earlier, blind squirrel effect with John Gray too.
John Gray I think he tries to overpower hitters just in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
He just picks the wrong spot to try and do it. He certainly has the stuff.
But against the Oakland A's, they're not a bunch of they're not the 27 Yankees.
It could be.
Yeah, but that was his problem. I that's a good point. I noticed that a lot in Colorado. He just tried to pump an extra couple miles an hour on his fastball and would sacrifice sort of location at that point, and would do the same thing that a couple Nationals pitchers that we've mentioned would do, is just leave the ball right over the plate and and that was his issue. Now you can get away with that a little bit more in Texas, not being in Colorado, but yeah, I still think it could burn him even with the Rangers.
Go to San Diego, where the we go to San Diego where the Padres take on the Pirates, and then we got the Mariners up against Justin Verlander. Chris, what do you think?
There's no words for that one, but I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the plus money against the Padres here. For me, Sean Manaea has been the weak link of that Padres starting rotation. He's allowed at least 3 runs in each of his last 5 starts. He gave up 4 in 6 innings to the Giants last time out, and luckily the Padres offense was able to pick him up and get a team victory. Manaea still didn't get the victory himself in that start, but I think the Pirates, with Jose Quintana on the mound here, could do enough to get themselves a win here, and a win at some nice plus money here. Quintana's pitched very well on the year, and I think the bats are a lot hotter for San Diego, but I think Pittsburgh could steal game 1 here. So give me the Pittsburgh Pirates on the money line at plus 175.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm not as much of a man as Chris Ruffalo here. I'm going to take the plus 1.5 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I agree with everything he said. I think Quintana's the better pitcher in this matchup. He only made it, 3 2/3 last start, but I'll take his veteran presence compared to Manaea, who I do believe is the weak link. And then Seattle and Astros. I don't want to call any pick a square pick, but I just think I'm going to take Seattle plus 1.5 here. I just think everybody in the world's going to be back in Verlander minus the 1.5 here. And the Mariners 2-8 last 10, but they're at home. I think they got to start playing better baseball. I'll take the Mariners with flex and plus 1.5.
Justin Verlander hasn't allowed a run in his last 3 games. He's at 19 innings plus. I'm going to guess that it goes even longer out than that. Since he's given up a run, we know that he's pitched 19 innings in his last 3 games, and that's how we get to that. But my guess, the scoreless inning streak is probably in the 20s at this point, and my guess is that this could be one of those, another career moment for Verlander where he starts to take this scoreless inning streak into the 40s and 50s because he is pitching that well. I've of course followed Justin Verlander really closely. You guys know I'm man crush on him on the show all the time. But I just think that, we've seen Verlander on the top of his game. Normally it's in the second half of the season. When he was in Detroit, it was usually seen as he's a second half of the season guy. Oh, man, I don't think I've ever seen him better than this. I just don't. Ever since I took Joe Ryan against him in Minnesota and he threw the one hitter, I think he took it personally in that one. He in that one hitter against the Twins, he only had 5 strikeouts in that game. He was just large and in charge, It's just he gets out there, he gets into the groove. It's like you don't get him in the first inning, you're not going to get him. You're not going to get this guy. He is pitching that well. I don't think I've been watching Verlander I don't think he's ever been better than this. In a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame, all-time pitching staff, career type guy. I don't think he's ever pitched better than this coming off the injury. I haven't seen it. So 1.22 ERA this season.
You should take the -1 there.
Yeah. I'll take I would take the -3.5 is where I'm more likely.
I think.
Yeah. Easily. I like the Pirates money line with Ruffalo on that one. I think there's just way too much value against Manaea, who, as I say every time he pitches, finds a little bit too much of the plate for my taste. I know he has good motion. His pitch style is to throw the ball over the plate, and it has good motion on it. But I just don't like the over the plate mentality. It usually means if you're an over the plate guy, it usually means that you give up at least 2 runs every single time out. And I'm not sure that's going to be good enough against Quintana, who is gearing up. I think he's going to be a Dodger, Chris. I do. I think he's going to be a Dodger. That's going to be my call here.
Say White Sox.
I say Dodgers.
I say Yankees.
It's definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Could be a Blue Jay. Could be a Blue Jay. happens.
You know what? I would not mind if the Blue Jays picked him up and made him that 5th starter. I'll say that.
No one has him being a Pirate at year's end. Zero possibilities of that happening.
There's been how many Pirates we've talked about before the season even started that they weren't going to be there at midseason. Was it Brian Reynolds and now Jose Quintana? It's going to be interesting.
Anyways, we move on and we move to the NBA, and not many people giving the Miami Heat a chance here. Celtics big favorites to close it out in Game 6 and ruin our +1.5 bet that we have. I say I'll see you at Game 7 on Sunday. Brian?
Well, I wish you were right, and I'm going to root for you. I'm going to take the points with the Miami Heat. I think they can keep it competitive. I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose the game, but I just don't know how you can get this many points with one of the best coached teams in the NBA.
In an elimination game with their backs in a building they won in last week. I don't know.
I think we lost our bet. I'm giving up on that
one. Wow.
But I'm taking Miami plus the points.
Wow. Whoa.
At least I admitted that I'm chickening out. I'm pulling a Romanelli. I'm giving up already.
I'll take him +17. Rufalo.
I'm with you guys with the Heat and the points from the Heat and the points from the coaching perspective, but I still want to really, before I invest a ton of faith in them, I want to see how the injury report kind of shakes out. You got a ton of questionables there, but I think my stronger play, regardless of injuries or not, I was always going to be the under 201. It's a low total, but we've seen the last 2 games kind of shake out to that lower pace. And finish at 178.5 points per game in those 2 outings. I think this is going to be another physical game. Neither side's going to want to give up an inch. I think this could be the first to 90 wins, maybe 95 at best. So give me the under 201 in that one.
I like the Heat here. I would take it down to about 4.5 points if you're going to do the points. 4.5, 5.5 points. It just seems like a ton of points, and you can get a lot more value with less points. And I think if the points are going to factor at all, it's going to be lower than this. So that's where I'm at with that.
What is the Heat -2.5 payout on there?
Chris? Nothing? Can't hear you.
I don't even have -2.5 here.
What? Or +2.5.
A +2.5.
Oh, I was thinking -2. I was thinking if you're going to go the Mitch route, you just take the Heat.
Yeah, well, believe me, I have no problem with it.
I think they would.
The money line here I'm seeing is +325. But yeah, the lowest alternate line I can go down to right now is +1.
I know someone that might have gotten it at 350.
Perhaps.
I know someone.
My guy has a guy.
I happen to know someone personally.
I almost know him better than I know myself.
They're a personal friend of mine. It's a personal friend. All right. Any parlays for today, guys?
Yep, I got the Miami Heat plus the points teamed up with the over in the Nationals-Rockies over 9.5, and then the play everybody loves, the Seattle Mariners plus the 1.5.
For me, I'm gonna go a couple dogs here. I'm gonna go the Pittsburgh Pirates on the money line, the Arizona Dodgers on the money line, and the New York Mets.
I'm gonna take the Marlins, parlay them up with the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Kind of fast-track show here, under the half-hour mark. See if that moves the needle a little bit for some of our followers. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you.